Hi, this is Annie Manning with Paint the Moon Photography, and I am just going to take you through a little tutorial today in Elements using the new Miracle Makeover and Essential action sets. We're going to work on this photo here that a customer sent in to me, and the first thing we will notice about this photo is that it's very dark and it's very cool. So the first thing I'm going to do is lighten it up, and I am going to use the Lighten and Tone action, and this one is from the Essentials set. Double click on that in my effects palette, and that looks a lot better. And I'm going to drag this up, brighten it up even more, and then I'm going to flatten it, and then I'm going to do it one more time, and I'm going to turn this layer off, the Bring on the Light layer off, and the Lighten and Tone layer, I'm going to bring that way down. I just wanted a little bit of additional light in there, so I'm going to bring that down to 10%, and then I'm going to flatten it again. And then I am going to fix the colors on this. She appears to be probably in shade here. And she has a lot of blue and cyan is what you get when you're in shade. And we're going to remove those color casts. And so we're going to go to the actions in the Miracle Makeover set. I'm going to use Banish Blues first. And I'm going to bring it all the way up to 100%. And then I am going to do the cyan. And we're going to use the Banish Cyan. And I'm going to bring that one all the way up to 100%, and then I'm going to flatten it, and I'm going to run it one more time. And this time I'm going to bring my opacity down just a little bit to 40%, and now her color is looking really good to me. Flatten that, and so if you want to see, this is what we had before the Lighten and Tone and the Banish Blues and Cyan, and just after running those 3 actions, which was really quick as you saw, we have this. And so the next thing I'm going to do is run a clarity action, which is in the Essentials, and it's called Let's Be Clear. And this just gives it a crisper, sharper look. It's a little bit different than sharpening, but it clarifies it, gives it a clear look. And I'm going to leave that at the percentage it was, at 25%, and flatten that. And then I'm going to do hair. I have an action in the Miracle Makeover set called Hair and Eye Pop, and I'm going to run that. And I like to use it around the eyes sometimes really lightly, and on hair highlights. I'm going to up my brush size just a little bit, a lot, and turn this up, and my opacity on my brush was way down, so I'm going to turn that up to 100% and paint on some highlights. Actually, I'm going to turn the opacity down on this layer just a little bit. I don't want it too contrasted. And then flatten that. And actually, yeah, we're just going to leave that. And then we're going to work on the shadows. Just open up some of the shadows down there just a little bit. I think opening them up too much since it was so dark to begin with. We're going to get a lot of grain and grit going on, so we don't want to lighten it too much. Shadow Lifter, and this is in the Essential set, and you need to make sure you have your brush selected and the white paint, and you paint on your layer mask right here. This black box is your layer mask, and it's black, which means it's hiding everything that this layer does. When I paint on this with a white paintbrush, it's going to reveal what that layer is. So we're going to start with a really large brush here and start painting on the shadows. and you see that brightens those shadows right up. We're gonna, and I'm gonna do this side of her with the opacity on the brush down to about 30%, because I don't want to lighten it too much on this side, but just a little bit. And bring that down to about 40%. There's before and there's after shadow lifter, and flatten that. And then I'm going to work on her eyes. They look pretty crisp and clear already. We're just going to do a little bit to them. And so I'm going to run the Twinkle Eyes action from the Miracle Makeover set. And it's going to give us several different layers to do. Each of them does a little bit of a different thing. And I'm going to zoom in to her face a little bit closer. And lighten irises first. And change my brush size to 45. That's good. And bring my opacity back up on my brush. Paint on her irises. Lighten those up, and that lightens the catch lights in as well at the same time. And this is whiten the whites of the eyes and remove any color cast. Sometimes you'll get kind of a blue or other tone color cast in the whites that you can remove with that layer. And her whites look pretty good in this. I'm going to bring the opacity on that way down. This is to darken up the pupils or the eyelashes. You want to be careful with that one. You don't want to use it on men or use it too strong. You can brush on just a little bit here, and that looks pretty bad, but hang on just a second. I'll lower the opacity on this whole layer here. There, 13%. It just gives it a little bit of an oomph to the lash line. And then I'm going to do the sharpen overall layer over around the edges of the eye, lashes, and the iris and pupil. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to take a look at the overall effect we have there with the eyes. I'm going to hold down my Option key or Alt on a PC, Option on a Mac, and click the eyeball at the same time, and it will hide all my other layers above. And so that's the before the eye action, and that's after. Like I said, she didn't really need a whole lot on this, so you might not see much of a difference there. And she's got dark irises too. So, but this is a really great action to pop the eyes and make them bright and more intense. And I'm going to flatten that. And then I am going to whiten up her little tutu there with an action called Whiten Your Whites from the Essentials set. That's my baby panting in the background, not me. And I'm going to take my paintbrush again with white paint. I'm going to bring the brush size way up here. And I'm just going to start painting on this. Now, as soon as I paint, you can see that, wow, it did really have a blue overtone to the whites there. And get rid of that hue. I'm doing a really messy job, so I'm trying to show you a lot of different things at once here. Said messy job, but you get the point. And so this is before, and this is after Whiten Your Whites. Again, it might be hard to see on the video. I know some things don't translate very well, but that can be used on all kinds of whites. It can be used on teeth. We can actually go in, let's go in here and do her teeth. And you can use that. I'm going to lower the opacity on that to whiten up her teeth. We do have a, let me flatten that. I'll show you another one. We have Healthy Smile as well. that has a couple of different layers, a lightener and a bleach that will get rid of the yellow tone. So that's our lightener, and then we have this layer. Here is the bleach layer. And take a look at that. And flatten that. And then all I will do to finish this up is use a sharpening action, and that just depends on what my output's going to be, if I'm going to be using it on the web or print or what. And I will show you the before. Before and after Miracle Makeover and The Essentials by Paint the Moon. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.